There have been 33 expansions that we've documented since 1854. The longest one was in the 1990s. It went 120 months. We're now at 119 months. So when we get through with June without a recession, and I'm pretty sure that's going to happen, we will have tied the longest expansion on record. And the outlook for the next year to year and a half is pretty stable. So we're clearly going to push past that 120 month, probably push 130 or more months. And, you know, it's kind of interesting when you think about it. You know, normally people think, well, you can expand for so long, but then you're going to have a recession. There's nothing out there right now that is suggesting that anywhere in the foreseeable future there's a downturn in the U.S. economy. So, you know, we're gonna become the longest expansion on record, and we're gonna post a number that's probably going to be pretty hard to beat. Tariffs are applied to what is known in the trade jargon as the last sale price, and it takes place actually in the country of origin. So that $60 toaster that you see at Walmart, okay, probably cost the Chinese exporter, who is the one that's actually going to pay the tariff, somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe $10 or $15, okay? And that's where this tariff is going to be applied to, that $10 or $15 price. So it's really only $1 or $1.50 for a 10% tariff on an item that costs, say, $10 or $15. So these tariffs are in the idea that somehow or other 600 billion in Chinese products at some time might be subject to a 25% tariff, which would say, my God, it's going to cost American consumers $150 billion. Nah, it's more like 40 or $50 billion actually, which is minuscule compared to the amount of money that U.S. consumers spend. It's less than 0.4% of consumer spending last year. So it's a very, very small impact on U.S. consumers. 2018 was a good year, principally because for the first time we grew at 3+% for the year. We got a hit from the Trump bump. It looks so far this year that we're still going to get a little bit of a trickle from it. We're not going to be growing at the historic 1.8% rate, which was what we had through about 2017. We're probably looking more at about 2.5% for 2019. So it's coming down a little bit. We think we can sustain that through 2020, maybe a little bit slower than that, but still above 2%. So we got a big bump in 2018. We're getting a little bit of a ramp up in 19 and a little less in 20 before we were actually settled back down to that long-term growth rate that we've talked about before of around 2% growth. So, you know, that's what's in store for us. Next 18 months should be pretty good and a little bit more solid than we had prior to 2018.